I checked, I wasn't seeing it. 2 seconds. We gotta start signing charters. It started.
Welcome. We're going to call the meeting to order. We have Dave Smith, Eric Gonzalez, and Brittany Fumilaro. We have, who's missing? Mark Esposito is absent today. Let's see here. Review and approval of the, let's see here, May 6th meeting minutes. Can I get a motion?
Make a motion to approve meeting minutes.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carries. Are you gonna? Here, why don't you take care of it? Because he's gone. All right. So who motioned? Eric? Eric made the motion. Dave seconded. Okay, so we have a tabled site plan review for request for Chobani LLC to construct approximately 1.8 million square foot dairy processing plant on Perimeter Road. Can I get a motion to remove that from the table?
I make a motion to remove from the table.
Eric removed it from the table. Can I get a second?
Second.
Brittany, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, folks from Chobani, if you could come down, state your name for the record and.
My name is Kevin McCall. How about now? Okay. I am short, but this is nice. This is perfect. Usually I have to pull.
We knew you were coming.
Thank you. Kevin McAuliffe, Barclay Damon in Syracuse, here on behalf of Chobani. We've resubmitted to you a site plan since the last meeting. What that includes are responses and inclusions, corrections as the case may be, from your May 2nd communication, your May 8th, and then finally there was an email with regard to the planting of trees along the shared use path. I know you've got a full agenda tonight, so unless you want me to, I won't go through each requested item. But all of those have now been shown on the plan, including the trees along the shared use path. And we're here tonight with a full cast. We're happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, would you guys like to have him run down it so you know what the changes? Are you clear? You're clear? Okay. All right, sounds good. So did you, yeah, we'll do public comment, but do you want to add anything else or you?
No, I think that's it. We just
Okay.
wanted to tell you, we've resubmitted the plan. We've responded to all your comments. We had no issues. And obviously, as we discussed at the last meeting, we'll come back once we know signage.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not at that stage yet, so we'll just come back to you. That's the least of our concerns at the moment.
Perfect. Okay. All right. So if we do give you an approval, there'll be a stipulation in there.
Understood. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Public comment?
I think you're just getting ready to do the next item.
No, Jeff Moore, public comment. Just curiosity, this has gotten FAA approval for building height clearances?
Yes, well, I'm not sure if it's all the way there yet, but they were working with,
Okay.
the county attorney. Is she here? No. The county attorney was working with, the FFA, and I think, does anybody have that answer here in? Yeah, if you could just touch on it. I knew that was a big point, but I think they're real close.
Yeah, we don't have final approval of the FAA yet, but we do have the complete site limitation map, if I want to call it that, for heights, setbacks, and everything else. Coordinated through CNS and all their years of work at the airport. The structures as shown have no issues. We have what we refer to as the rainbow map, which shows your various heights as you move away from the runway. That's where the main limitations are, and the total highest point here is under the limitations for this site.
Yeah, it was we're at you're at 160, correct?
The maximum limitations 160.
Okay,
Our height is 130, I believe.
Okay, yeah, I
Yes.
remember it was below what it was.
Yeah.
But the other holdup was, turning the property over from airport use to,
Correct. That has not happened.
That
yet.
hasn't happened
Yeah,
yet.
we're
Okay.
waiting for the release, as it's called, from the FAA.
okay,
For the use of the triangle parcel for a non-aviation purpose is the categorization of it.
okay, appreciate it, thank you.
Thank
Hope
you.
that answers your question.
And that holdup, and I'll get into my comments in just a sec, but that holdup was partially because it had to be rezoned, which has now been completed by the Common Council.
Okay. Thank you. You got
So, yeah.
comments?
The proposed project is in alignment with longstanding efforts by both the county and the city to leverage the site for industrial activity. A secret negative declaration was already issued for this project by the United County Legislature. We've reviewed the submitted application materials for compliance with the city code. The applicant has satisfied all requirements except for signage information, as signage design has not yet been completed for the project. We therefore recommend conditional approval of the proposed site plan, subject to return before the board with signage information once available.
Thank you. Board comments? Okay, make a motion, somebody?
I make a motion to approve with the condition that they return with a signage package.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carried. Can you back that? All right. Thank you, guys. Okay, new business. We have a public hearing for Stephen Chase for a 3-lot minor subdivision Link Road. Okay, public hearing, we have to announce it 3 times. Public hearing request for Stephen Chase for 3-lot minor subdivision, 8083 Link Road. Third time, Stephen Chase for a 3-lot minor subdivision, 8083 Link Road. Okay, that's closed. Let's see, environmental seeker request by, can we take them both off here?
If they're not on.
Oh, they're not on, yeah.
You don't need to.
Okay, so you're gonna present okay, so we have a seeker review request for Steve Chase for a 3-lot minor subdivision, 8083 Link Road. Tell us about your property. State your name too.
Good afternoon, board. My name is Jeff Moore with Moore Land Surveying. I'm here to represent the Chases on a 3-lot subdivision on Chase Road, or excuse me, on Link Road on the outer district of Rome. Currently, the property is, and it's been a while, it's about 40 plus or minus acres of land. There's currently an old farm on it, farmhouse, farm building, farm fields. It butts up to the old Canada Creek, and we're currently looking to do a 3-lot subdivision, as shown, a 16-acre parcel, a 4-acre parcel, and a 39-acre parcel. You can see there's actually a 4th lot there, but there's another tax parcel which is not part of a subdivision. So,
Okay, thank you.
Staff comment, the proposed parcel dimensions are compliant with zoning code minimums, both wetlands and, making sure I'm looking at the right one. Wetlands and floodplains are present on the project parcels. These do not impact the ability for the parcels to be subdivided, but the applicant should be aware this may impact the possibility of future development on the land. Our department recommends issuing a seeker negative declaration via uncoordinated review and approving the proposed subdivision plat as presented.
Thank you. Okay, can I get a recommendation from the board?
I make a motion to issue a negative deck in regards to item number 5.
Can I get a second? Dave Smith, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. So we have a subdivision review request for Stephen Chase for a 3-lot minor subdivision, 8083 Link Road. So we need did you already comment on that also?
So yeah, so that
Okay,
that
you
that
you
was
bundled
the
it? Okay.
seeker. Now it's ready for the.
Okay, so I need a recommendation for that as well.
I make a motion to approve as presented on item number 5
6.
or 6, excuse me.
I second the motion.
Okay, all those in favor? Okay, motion carries. And you are all set with that. And you're up for, so we have a public hearing request for, this is number 7 of the agenda. Public hearing request for GGC Properties LLC for a 3-lot minor subdivision at 245 Avery Lane, once. Public hearing request for GGC Properties LLC for a 3-lot minor subdivision at 245 Avery Lane, twice. Public hearing request for GGC for a GGC Properties LLC for a 3-lot minor subdivision at 245 Avery Lane. Okay, that portion's closed. We got an environmental review seeker for the GGC Properties LLC for a 3-lot minor subdivision, 245 Avery Lane. And you're going to present for that also?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Same person's presenting. You can go ahead, sir.
Good afternoon, board. My name is Jeff Moore with Moore Land Surveying. We are here to represent the EGC Properties LLC over on Avery Lane and the Route 825, the Old Hill Road on the base. This is the Costello Medical Complex. And there's currently 3 commercial properties on one property, and all owned by the same group. Currently, they all have their own parking lots, utilities, access, and whatnot. Our proposal is to do a 3-lot subdivision. Each lot would have its own conforming road frontage and would use a common ingress egress driveway, which we have terms and restrictions for moving forward as shown. It meets your requirements as far as setback and zoning requirements. And if there's any other questions, feel free to ask.
Yeah, can you just walk me through that, the road that's going to be, what is there going to be a permanent easement or is it
Correct.
just, okay.
Correct.
And that would be in the red, correct?
Correct.
So it comes from Avery Lane.
Correct.
Down through, catches each parking lot,
Correct.
each access point.
Correct. So the flow of traffic wouldn't change to each individual parking lot as currently used today.
Okay.
And then they're in the deed, when the deeds get transferred out, along with the map would be filed with the county. And on the map, it shows the restrictions and the easement notes on the right side. You can see the easement notes, which then would clarify, and the deeds would reflect that as well. So
So that's not a city road currently, correct?
Avery Lane is a city road. That red outline would be a private
It's a-
easement.
And is it going to be a shared services or?
Correct. And that's what those easements note.
Oh, they do, okay.
The notes and the easements cover that, those.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Board?
The proposed subdivision action will split the existing parcel into 3 commercial office structures that each office building will be on its own parcel. A 35-foot by 300-foot perpetual access easement will ensure all parcels maintain access to the public right-of-way. We recommend issuing a seeker negative declaration beyond coordinated review and approval of the proposed subdivision plat as presented.
Okay, thank you, Garrett. Can I get a recommendation for item 8 for the seeker?
I make a motion to issue a negative declaration for EGC Properties LLC.
Can I get it? All those in favor? Okay, motion carries. And we need a recommendation for item 9 for the seeker review request.
I make a motion to approve as presented.
I second the motion.
All those in favor? Okay, motion carries. And we have, that one's closed then, right? Yeah. All right, we have a public hearing request for 7937 Ridge Mills Road LLC for a 2-lot minor subdivision. It's located at 7937 Ridge Mills Road, once. Public hearing request by 7937 Ridge Mills Road LLC for a 2-lot minor subdivision at 7937 Ridge Mills Road, twice. Public hearing request for 7937 Ridge Mills Road LLC for a 2-lot minor subdivision located at 7937 Ridge Mills Road. Okay, the public portion is closed. So that would be 10, number 11. So we have an environmental seeker review request by 7937 Ridge Mills Road LLC for a for a two-lot minor subdivision located at 7937 Ridge Mills Road. You again.
Good afternoon, Board. My name is Jeff Moore with Moore Land Surveying, representing 7937 Ridge Mills Road LLC. They currently are looking to cut out a 7.1 acre parcel, which would be north of the Jones Nursery currently, if you get a picture where that is. And the parcel would go just to the north side of the existing hedgerow that's out there. It'd be approximately 7 acres with approximately 200 feet of road frontage. It's currently vacant farm field.
And it's coming off of the nursery?
No, it's coming off 7937 out Ridge Mills, so it's part of the main farm.
Yep.
That goes all the way over to Nescentia. Any questions?
Okay, so any more comments? Okay.
The proposed parcel dimensions are compliant with zoning code minimums, both wetlands and, oh, nope, I'm looking at 83. This is what I get for shuffling my papers. This is what happens when there's 16 items on the agenda. Proposed parcels are compliant with zoning code minimums and on a review of online mapping available for Oneida County. No federal or New York State wetlands are known to be present. The proposed subdivision was referred to the Oneida County Department of Planning for review under GML 239 as it is within 500 feet of a county or state right-of-way. They returned a response of no recommendation. We therefore recommend issuing a seeker negative declaration and approving the proposed subdivision plat as presented.
Thank you. Okay, so can I get a motion for item 11, the seeker?
I make a motion to issue a negative deck on item 11.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Okay, motion carries. And the subdivision review request. Can I get a recommendation for that one? Item
I'd like
12?
to recommend issue negative declaration approved as presented.
I second the motion to approve as presented.
Hang on one second.
Number 12.
Number 12, yep. Could you just,
Make a recommendation to approve as presented.
okay, can I get a second?
Second the motion.
All those in favor? Okay, motion carries. And you are all set. So we have a site plan review request for first student. We got a revision. Revision of the approved plan for 6700 Martin Street. If you can come down and present, tell us what your changes are, please.
Good evening, Julian Clark with Plumley Engineering, here representing First Student. We were here plus or minus 6 months ago and obtained site plan approval for First Student to upgrade their facility on Martin Road. After we got our approvals and finished all our design, First Student did some review with their bus drivers and other people associated with the property, and they identified some concerns with the couple of the islands we had in the parking lot. And they asked if we could come back to you guys and remove 4 of the landscaped islands from the project, make it one bigger area. A lot of the bus drivers were concerned about their abilities to access some of the spots by the islands without scratching their buses on tree limbs, et cetera, or hitting a light pole. So we've updated the site plan. We removed 4 islands, pushed the light poles back, adjusted the pavement. So there's actually a reduction in impervious area with the new layout. We've had the same number of plantings as before. We've actually moved more trees up to the front along Martin Street as opposed to the some that were back further. So the end, we have same number of plantings, more up front, less impervious area, and a layout that's more amenable to the bus drivers.
Okay, anything else?
That's it.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, so, oh, public comment. Okay, nobody's there. Staff comments?
So the applicant is requesting an alternative landscape plan approval from the planning board to remove the normally required landscape islands and plantings. In exchange, the applicant's proposing to add additional plantings along the front fence line along the public right of way. Given the use of the project property and the fact that the Empire State Trail runs directly across the other side of the street from that right-of-way, our department feels this would provide a net improvement to the public right-of-way and therefore recommends conditional approval of the proposed site plan revision with the condition that the final site plan should include the species and height of planting for the proposed plantings.
Okay, thank you. I've traveled through that park a lot and I tried to wrap my head around the islands with the buses and I didn't see it working either. So removing it would definitely improve visibility, people being, coming around, big bus coming out and somebody coming around that way. It just wouldn't, I don't think it would be beneficial to, the buses. So, we need a motion for, let's see here, where are we? Item 13. Need a recommendation for item 13.
I make a recommendation to approve with the condition of providing the heights of the new plantings.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, you're all set there.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
luck with your project. All right, we have an review seeker for the Humane Society of Rome LLC to construct approximately a 19,817 square foot animal shelter at 6247 Lamphir Road. And we also have a site plan review. You're presenting for? Yes. Okay. You're right.
Okay, Julian Clark with Plumley Engineering, here with Lynn Rosen, representing the Humane Society. Currently, the Humane Society owns and operates a facility at 6247 Lamphir Road. The Humane Society is a registered animal shelter with New York State Department of Ag and Markets, and is a classified municipal dog shelter. Currently, 22 surrounding municipalities contract with HCR for sheltering dogs. A lot of you may be new to the board or don't know, but we've been here 3 or 4 times before, obtaining maybe site plan approval for different sites throughout the city that the Humane Society has looked at. For one reason or another, those opportunities have all fell apart. One of the driving forces in the Humane Society's selection of property was to obtain or was to have public sewer, because the current facility is on a septic system. However, new regulations by Ag and Markets, new standards is requiring facilities to meet these standards by end of year or risk fines and closure. And the current facility that Humane Society operates out of isn't large enough to upgrade to meet all those standards. So that being said, Humane Society is proposing a new facility, approximately 20,000 square feet behind their existing facility on land that they own about 18 acres. The plan is to build their facility and all the sidewalk, parking lot, all that stuff, get it up and running, and tear down their existing facility. As I indicated on the septic system there will be public water. We will design a stormwater management system compliant with the DEC stormwater permit. One item, currently the property is zoned RR and rural residential. Animal shelters are not allowed use in our zone. The facility itself is grandfathered, but any expansion would not be compliant. However, we did receive a use variance from the ZBA last month, allowing us to move forward with the animal shelter on the full property. Another improvement will be access to the property. Currently, a lot of people have to pull in off the Lamphir Road, park on the side of the road, which isn't the greatest for maneuvering and safety. This way, we're gonna have a long driveway, taking people off Lamphir Road and taking them to the parking lot. We did receive some comments from the city. We are good with, we're working through those at this time. Just to my knowledge, or to my understanding, there wasn't any major concerns by the city. Everything we kind of agree with. And we do have, building plans, full plans, if you want to look at those.
Now, you said that you're gonna design a septic system?
Yes.
Because there's no sanitary sewer that
Correct.
far down, okay. And did you get the pulse of the neighbors? Everybody feels, I mean, obviously, nobody's here, we're gonna get no letters, so that's a good sign.
And we had
Yeah.
another, like I said, we got the land use, the use variance, they had a public hearing for that also.
Well, you're also pushing it back,
Yes.
I mean, how far behind the existing structure would you be?
We're like 3 be 100 feet from the existing.
So that's better for sound
Yep.
and all that stuff. Okay.
And there'll be a pretty comprehensive landscape and buffer along the property line.
Plus 300 feet. Right now, you're what? 20 feet off the road?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yep.
Is this bigger than the current facility?
It is bigger, but the number of
Is the-
animals they can handle is the same.
Is gonna stay the same?
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah, it's just they have more room.
Compliance, right?
Yeah, more compliant, but they just have more room to run around.
Okay.
This is Lynn.
If you could just put your name for the record, Linda.
Lynn Rosen, President of the Humane Society of Rome. So with the existing shelter, we won't be able to stay open past December. But as long as we're in the middle of building, they're going to allow us to continue to build into 26 and be compliant. We kept it it's basic but functional. You can only adopt so many animals out. So what it will do is actually give our animals more quality of life and be more sufficient. With the plans, right now, this is basically the shelter where you drive in. These are the cat colonies in the front. The middle of the building will support to clean and feed and take care of the animals. The kennels are in the back near 365, and they're all enclosed. And this is just outdoor runs. So any of the dog area will be towards the back of the shelter. Neighbors will never hear the dogs bark. In the front is a community room. So what we're doing is allowing the public, we're going to do chip and clip clinics. We're going to do just fundraising, a lot of children's programs on weekends, dog training. So excuse me. So this will be a huge room for the community. Families can come for the day. On the other end are basically garages and night drops for DCO officers. Because right now, dog control is not going to be able to keep dogs overnight. They're going to have to bring them to our shelter under the new guidelines. So there'll be a night drop, so the dogs will be safe, and we'll put them in our inventory during the day. We'll have a retail shop so that you come in, we're a one-stop shop, come in, adopt an animal, take everything you need, and go home. And every room will help us generate revenue to keep this building going. Oh, and most importantly, a spay neuter clinic. So we are going to be able to do low-cost spay and neuters. We'll be able to do our own spay and neuters, as well as maybe help the other shelters that are able to stay open. So surgery center, community room, and basically just very efficient building to house the animals.
Thank you. It sounds like a great project.
it's
I
long time
have a
coming.
question. How the kennels, I know that there's some acreage. How far are the kennels from 365?
We're 134 to the property line, but there's a larger right of way with grass, I think, before you get to
Okay. I'm okay.
Should we tell them about the
I got
house?
another question for you. Is this, you building this so that you can expand at some point? Or you, setting it up so like, say, you want to throw another 10,000 square feet? Is it going to be able to add on, or this is the
We-
build?
We can, but this is it,
This is it?
because you have to maintain it.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
So this is what we can handle, because you can only adopt out so many animals,
Yeah.
right? And then the whole point of a shelter is length of stay, to get them in and get them out. And we are a no-kill shelter. So the whole point is not to be able to house any more. Right now, we have 120 cats and we have about 30 dogs. But what it'll do is, with the new regs, you have to socialize them, you have to spend time, you have to document every time you walk a dog and his behavior. So the ag and market laws are really strict. And so we have to be able to maintain to do that for them. So could we expand in the future? But right now, I think this is 20,000 square feet is plenty. So right now we have the old shelter, we have the house next door. The house next door has all our offices. So this will just combine our whole organization under one roof. What we did was we purchased the house next door and that's being tore down. And that'll be our construction entrance into the back of our shelter, because we won't be able to relocate because there isn't any place for us to go. So the plan is to tear down the house, build the shelter. When we're moved into the new facility, then we will tear down the existing shelter, and that'll be our grand entrance.
Thank you.
You said that you'll be tearing down the old property after you've completed construction?
Yes.
Is that because of the new regulations that it can't remain there anymore, or is it just the property dilapidated and isn't worth?
We don't need both facilities. One third of the facility is built and compliant with ag market. We won't need
Mhm.
fuel, which isn't compliant.
I'm not sure how much it will stand.
Oh,
I
gotcha.
mean, it's 1958. And so there's really been no major construction with the existing kennels. So,
Gotcha.
yeah, it needs to come down.
Anything else? Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. All right, Garrett?
Public comment?
Oh, public comment. Sir, would you like public comment? Okay, that's closed.
So, as Julian said, we didn't have any substantial concerns when we sent our review memo. There was a couple of housekeeping items. The only thing is that the 30-day seeker window for this project is still open for coordinated review. We sent everything off the day we got it for comments, but unfortunately, we didn't get anything back from DOT or DEC in time for this meeting. So you guys will be on the agenda for the July 1st meeting, but I don't see any major roadblocks at this time.
Okay, and you said that was submitted when to them?
I'm trying to think of it. Wasn't quite 30 days, but it was almost.
Okay.
And if we went to county,
Yes, went to county.
Okay, can we get a recommendation for the seeker review?
I make a motion to table pending the seeker window.
Second motion.
All those in favor? Aye, okay. Motion carries. And so the site plan review, we need a recommendation for that also.
I make a motion to table the site plan review pending seeker window.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Okay, so we hashed it out and we don't have no comments. So when that stuff comes back, as long as there's nothing substantial, should be fairly quick. Okay, thank you, guys. So we have
thank you.
we are
Thank you.
gonna do let's see, what are we gonna call this? A recommendation to the Common Council for ordinance number 9788, amending the Rome Code Ordinance, Chapter 80, Article, Section 8019.4, Site Plan Review. Okay, so public comment on that or no? Should we?
So you can offer a public comment.
Public comment, sir? Would you like to have any public comment on it? No? Okay, we'll close that.
I can speak to the proposed changes just real quick.
You want to?
Sure.
Okay.
Essentially, this amendment is to address an issue that we've run into a few times where small changes arise during the course of construction that weren't originally anticipated, but are not really substantial in nature. Previously, the previous language in our code, or the current language, says any change has to come back to the planning board. There's no it's purely black and white. There's no room for interpretation. As a result, basically the building inspector has to kind of make a snap judgment in the field, either say, it's not big enough, don't worry about it, or send it back to the board. This will create a set of clear criteria, who's approving what, create a paper trail so everyone knows when modifications are approved for changes. And I think it'll be helpful to help keep things rolling along, but also make sure everyone's staying on the same page and clear on what is supposed to be constructed, what has been approved, so we don't end up with surprises at the end of projects.
Okay, thank you, Garrett. So I'm gonna clean that up a little bit. So basically, people get a plan approved. They want to make a minor change, like move a shrub. Then they have to come back before the planning board. Cost them 30 days, cost construction, increases, and so on and so forth. And the reason why I'm talking about it, I was thinking there was going to be some people here, but there might be some people listening. So I told the Common Council president that when I'm listening on there and he says, ordinance number, blah, 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 approve or disapprove, and then it's gone. like, I don't know what that is, and I gotta research and try to figure out, so I think it's nicer to talk about, if there's somebody listening, they know what we're talking about, so I did talk to John Nash about that, I'm like, maybe just touch what ordinance number or whatever it is, because it's hard to find it, so at least people listening could know what we're talking about. So can we get a recommendation for that?
I make a recommendation to send the ordinance to the common council.
Recommend approve as presented.
You want,
Recommend to approve as presented.
as
correct?
presented, so, which means the, as far as I understand it, is the chairman and the,
City.
who would that be?
Correct. So planning director.
Planning director.
Planning director is the term used in the code. In this case, it would be the
Assistant?
deputy director of community and economic development is the effective planning chair for the city.
Okay, so it'd be the deputy, so somebody from the city and somebody from this board.
Correct.
Okay,
I approve as presented.
as presented. Oh,
Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt. Don't want to
okay.
interrupt your vote.
Can I get a second?
Yeah, I'll second that motion.
All in favor? Aye, okay. Jim? Anything?
I just wanted to add, again, not to hold anything up, just for purpose of the record. I did review the ordinance as well. I do believe it implements some checks and balances. I mean, there could be a host of legitimate reasons why a developer, whether it's maybe a supply chain issue with whether it's materials. And again, this essentially deals with just minor changes. I don't think anyone wants to give any indication that this is some, backdoor process being approved, because there are checks and balances. If the planning board's uncomfortable with any change, then it goes back to the full board for review. And that's why it needs approval, a sign off from the chair or the acting chair, whoever is available. If they have a sense from the board that they want to hear something or a change, it might be a little too substantial, then it goes back to the board. So I do think it's a good process. And it's something that I don't think, I'd like to think would not be abused. And if there isn't any indication that there might be some sense of abuse by a developer, then that's where it goes back to the full board for review. That's all.
And I can give a sort of an example of one area where this would have been used if it was available with there was a project for a credit union previously that they had put everything out. They were almost done with the project. They were putting in their landscaping, and they finally realized that they hadn't realized when they're looking in 2 dimensions, when you look in 3 dimensions, they were putting a shrub directly in front of their security camera. And it technically, under the existing code, that constitutes a change that would have to go back to the planning board, which obviously didn't make any sense.
Okay, thank you, guys. All right, can we get a motion for adjournment?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second the motion.
All those in favor?
Stay your lines.
Clerk,